Selecting an insurance provider for your business is a big decision.
We know how important your company is to the community.
Alford & Associates can manage your insurance. It's our job.
Alford & Associates, benefiting your employees and protecting your business.
Welcome back to Louisiana and Beyond. Part 2 of our look at the massive Breakwater rock projects protecting our coast.
And last week we showed you the foundations of the effort. And tonight we dive deeper with the people making it happen. Gordy Dove, Keith Guidry, Mitch Mormon, Nick Mathern, David Cormerdale, and O'Neill Malbrew.
And later we have Ben Bordelon sharing his perspective on shipbuilding and how it connects to protecting our coast.
Now, these guests give us an inside look at the progress, the challenges, and the future of South Louisiana's coastline.
So stay with us. We're just getting started, and there's a lot to see.
Louisiana and Beyond is brought to you in part by Edison Schwest Offshore, Bollinger Shipyards, Crosby Tugs LLC, Grand Isle Shipyard, Nichols State University, and Sea Level Construction.
Edison Schwest Offshore is more than a fleet. We're an interconnected network of vessels, logistics hubs, and a fast-growing workforce of over 19,000 dedicated professionals across the globe. From the United States to Brazil and the Middle East to Southeast Asia, Schwest provides cutting-edge solutions to a worldwide community. And in the face of evolving demands across the industry, we are committed to operating as the best in the world.
When it comes to marine towing, Crosby Tugs has over 40 years of experience. We have the know-how to safely assist ships into and out of their berths, escort oil tankers quickly and safely, tow ships, respond to fuel spills, and work in extreme conditions. Founded in 1977 by Vinton and Kurt Crosby, we are one of the largest privately owned marine transportation businesses in the industry. If it's on the water, let Crosby be your transporter.
At GIS, putting people first has always been our thing. As we always say, our people are our most important assets. With over 20 office locations, we deliver innovative solutions across 4 key markets: energy, industrial, infrastructure, and power. Our 4 main service groups house over 20 service capabilities, supporting projects from start to finish. We're proud of our legacy and even more excited about what's ahead.
Welcome to Bollinger Shipyards. For nearly a century, our family of skilled shipbuilders has driven innovation and excellence, creating some of the world's most advanced vessels. Today, we are at the forefront of our industry and redefining the future of naval warfare. At Bollinger, we turn challenges into opportunities and careers into legacies. Here, you're part of something bigger. Any yard can build a ship. We don't just build ships. Together, we're building the future.
In a world where you can choose to be anything, who do you choose to be? At Nichols State University, with over 70 distinct degree programs, we believe our students can be anything. Be an artist, a chef, a journalist, an educator, a lifesaver. But no matter what you choose to be a colonel. Be more at Nichols State University.
We're digging deeper into breakwater rocks, the barriers helping to protect our coast.
And we begin with CPRA Chairman Gordy Dove, who shares what's next for South Louisiana's coastline and how these projects are shaping the future.
Later, we'll hear from Keith Guidry, David Cormerdale, and others, giving their take on the work keeping our communities safe.
It's about protecting the land, the water, and the people who call this coast home.
I think land bridges are the immediate answer. I think the barrier islands with rocks are the immediate answer. And I always have a saying, you can't build levees too high and you can't build too many pump stations. If you think you need a 700 CFS pump station, build you 1,000. You can't overbuild.
The proof is there. David's totally committed to the rocks, and you go to Grand Island, you see where the first rocks were put, where back in the day where Andy Valiant was the mayor, and he put those rocks in the middle of the island. It's there, it's proof. We got a text, I got a text at 5:30 this morning from Gordy about some extra money, and they're gonna fill in East Timbalier Island, which is awesome. They're gonna put rocks, then they're gonna pump sediment inside it and rebuild that whole island. That's another defense for Lafourche and Terrebonne. I mean, how much more excited we could be, with this news. So rocks are the key. If the rocks are gonna protect our natural resources, then let's put the rocks, let's have it on the outside of the levee, on the outside of the land bridge, where not many people are gonna see that, but it's there, it's protecting us, it's keeping us here.
So obviously it breaks the energy of waves, right? Number one, big rocks break the energy of waves, which destroy. We have fragile lands. I mean, our sediment, we're not built on bedrock here in Louisiana, right? We're built on river silt, and sands. So to take that force out of the equation is important. But the other thing is our sediments are light and they move around a lot. Well, these rocks trap that sediment, and allow island to build behind these rocks. So, the problem we have is we don't have enough sediment in the system anymore. So that's why you have to pump, right? I mean, we're going to have to eventually pump. I mean, it's all eroded and went to the bottom of the canals. You can see so many canals have been filled in over the years, and that's just from the bank lines and the islands, eroding away. But so we know it traps sand, it protects the islands. So if we're going to pump and make that investment, we need to protect it some kind of way. And we've seen how effective rocks are on Grand Isle, on Raccoon Island here, on Timbalier Island and the places that they've put them. And so we're fully supportive of doing segmented breakwaters everywhere we can to protect these investments and make sure these islands last. But, as a fisherman, the place I want to go fishing is right next to those rocks, and I think every fisherman would agree. So I don't know why, it's complained upon that they're not native. You can go up and down the coast of the United States anywhere, and there's rocks or seawalls or bulkheads. None of that is native. And the reason it's there is to protect the environment and the land behind it.
We talk a lot about coastal restoration in Louisiana. I think it's almost a misnomer because of how much our landscape has changed over the millennia, especially most recently since we've leveed off the Mississippi River. If we try to think of restoration in terms of just put back what we've lost and staying as natural as possible to the landscape, I think we're fighting a losing battle because the land that we've lost for a reason. And so instead of restoration, sometimes I almost think we should call it coastal reformation, that we need to be more creative in the ways that we think of how we restore the land, but then ensure that that land's going to stay for the future. And I think you do that through a number of different approaches. One, obviously, just putting the land back in large-scale marsh creation, but then also having some smaller freshwater enhancement projects that can come in and keep that vegetation alive. But then we know how fragile marsh is. We saw overnight in the South Lafourche community the havoc that one storm can wreak. We estimate that we lost in Hurricane Ida about 20 years worth of our typical land loss overnight.
Yeah, I'm telling you, once we put rocks around it, and you're going to see, I got $10 million for the FEMA, just got it. We're going to put that as a levee board president in the back, renourish the rocks. After Ida, 4 months later, our levee board put the rocks by the Caminada. So I think my guys are coming up in a little while, my levee board guys, he said, David, when you told the senators up there, that when you told them straight up, if you don't want the town to do it, you give it to this 3 board members, we can get it done quick. You turn it over to us, as I could change hats. But really the town, when they did the survey way back, if it's feasible to build this, my dad know in 65 when the bed, it's called a hurricane protection sand dune. We're making a levee out of it. We put a burrito levee on that. So my dad know at the time, so that's supposed to wash out and come back. But the storms get more powerful through the years and all that, and that's when Mr. Andy wanted to put the rock. So put all that together, and I guarantee you, I'll let me spend the $10 million on the backside and renourish that, because when the storm goes to the east, you remember that storm's whipping around. So I got to make sure I'm taking care of this side. So we baby them rocks on the backside. When the cold front comes, they're perfect size, nothing eats up. People go to their camps, makes a little channel, works out good. Now, we don't let you build to the rocks, but by the bridge, I will let you go over the rocks in case you got to fish. But when I got to repair the rocks, I'll cut your dock, put the rocks back, put you, I'm there to work with you to have waterfront property. But you're probably going to lose the deck on that side, the Gulf side, whatever, or the north side. But yeah, it can be done.
When it comes to marine towing, Crosby Tugs has over 40 years of experience. We have the know-how to safely assist ships into and out of their berths, escort oil tankers quickly and safely, tow ships, respond to fuel spills, and work in extreme conditions. Founded in 1977 by Vinton and Kurt Crosby, we are one of the largest privately owned marine transportation businesses in the industry. If it's on the water, let Crosby be your transporter.
Sea Level Construction is a heavy civil contractor that provides turnkey services for the industrial and marine industries. From building large-scale infrastructure to installing the foundation for expansion projects, Sea Level and its family of companies offer a wide range of capabilities including driven piles, drilled deep foundations, structural fabrication, structural concrete, marine construction, barge maintenance and repair, site work development, heavy equipment repair services, and electrical services. Call Sea Level Construction to set the foundations for your next big project.
Edison Schwest Offshore is more than a fleet. We're an interconnected network of vessels, logistics hubs, and a fast-growing workforce of over 19,000 dedicated professionals across the globe. From the United States to Brazil and the Middle East to Southeast Asia, Schwest provides cutting-edge solutions to a worldwide community. And in the face of evolving demands across the industry, we are committed to operating as the best in the world.
At GIS, putting people first has always been our thing. As we always say, our people are our most important assets. With over 20 office locations, we deliver innovative solutions across 4 key markets: energy, industrial, infrastructure, and power. Our 4 main service groups house over 20 service capabilities, supporting projects from start to finish. We're proud of our legacy and even more excited about what's ahead.
Welcome to Bollinger Shipyards. For nearly a century, our family of skilled shipbuilders has driven innovation and excellence, creating some of the world's most advanced vessels. Today, we are at the forefront of our industry and redefining the future of naval warfare. At Bollinger, we turn challenges into opportunities and careers into legacies. Here, you're part of something bigger. Any yard can build a ship. We don't just build ships. Together, we're building the future.
Next, we sit down with Ben Bordelon of Bollinger Shipyard.
And he takes us back to the day he took over the company more than a decade ago and the changes that shaped its future.
We closed, the transaction December 23rd, 2014. I'll never forget it. And if you look back at that time, if you remember, oil and gas was going down again. And I remember sitting in my office that morning. My mom was having a big Christmas party at her house, and Boise was there, and my family was there, and my sisters and everybody else. My mom invites the whole parish, it seems like, to parties. But I remember sitting in my office thinking, what the hell did I just do? And because we were going into a tough market. And obviously it was a tough market for a few years, and we've seen some rebound. But I knew I had to do things different. I had to take what I've learned from all of those people that we've talked about, from my grandfather, from my Uncle Boise, from my mom, from Uncle Gary. I had a support group, obviously, with Uncle Gary and the family there. But I took a time to pull my management team together and really challenge our group to not be status quo. And that's not taking away none of the things that we had done in the past, but certainly learn from it and then really look at the direction of where are we going the next 10, 15, 20 years. And then focus on that and then formulate a plan from there. You have to evolve. You can't stay the same. You know, that old cliche of either getting better or you're getting worse, you never stay the same. I believe that. So I think if we're not moving in a positive direction, that probably means we're getting passed up by somebody. And as you mentioned, I'm competitive. So challenging our group, I had to make some changes in management and some of the structure, the way we've done the yard. We're still a very flat organization, which means that if we have a problem, it comes to me pretty quick, which I think separates us from a lot of other big companies because we are involved in our business. It's not like I'm gonna take a month off and hand this off to somebody. It's a constant. So I knew we were gonna have to evolve. I knew I wanted to pivot more towards big government contracting. And that's what we did. We focused on growing that base. We hunkered down for a few years like we needed to because of the downturn, but we were fortunate where we had some contracts that were in place that were long-term. And we put all our sights on how can we be the most efficient and produce the best product for our customer. Because I always tell our team, the best salesman we have is the yard. Would we produce a good quality product that's gonna last many decades? That's how we keep getting repetitive business. So we focused on that. And if you look back over the last, I guess that's now been, over 11 years ago, the company certainly has changed. We pretty much doubled in size. We have some more bigger, robust contracts, more complicated. We're building icebreakers now. We're building more stuff for the Navy. One of the challenges I had to my team was that I wanted more, I called it gray paint in the shipyards, the Navy gray. And we've been doing that. So that's something that we've been growing. But having the diversity and balance amongst the tiers that we have in the shipyard, I kind of look at us as a three-legged stool, where we have government contracting, we have commercial contracting, and then we have repair and conversion. One day I'll have all three of those be hitting all on the same cylinders, but by design, that's something that we have diversity in right now that allows us to withstand the peaks and valleys in cyclical type markets.
Business has changed a lot since Ben's grandfather ran the company.
From handshake deals to high-tech systems, the shipyard has had to evolve with the times.
Look, it's a lot different. I've seen it, morph itself into something different even in the last 10 years. So it's constantly changing. But, if I had to go back to my grandfather compared to today, there was a lot more handshake deals. There's no doubt about that. We still have some of that. It's not as much anymore. The customer base has changed. So you see a little more sophistication in how you have to do your business. Technology certainly has been a huge discriminator in changing the environment that we're working in today. And that goes from, your management systems, that goes from how you communicating with your customers and vendors and subcontractors. All of those things play a part in that. The workforce is different. Back then you had a different mindset of workers. And obviously today's generation is different. And to motivate this generation, to get them excited to do shipbuilding, it's a challenge. But the optimist, I'm an optimist by heart. I'm not one to drink the Kool-Aid that, what are we gonna do with this new generation, this new workforce that doesn't wanna work? I don't believe that. I'm one of how are we gonna get them motivated to wanna work in our shipyards, and what are we gonna do to attract them and retain them? I tell my kids this story. My grandfather's generation was the greatest generation. You've heard that statement for many years. That whole generation was hardworking, risk-taking, really was one that we're gonna put the family first and separate themselves by just being hard workers. But I tell my kids that they have, I think, the greatest opportunity of any generation, frankly, because if you were my grandpa back then and you were hardworking and you took risk and you did all of those things, to be honest, they didn't stand out because they were all doing it. This generation's a little different in the context that I think if you are going to be hardworking and you are going to take risks, you're going to stand out. And you're going to have an opportunity, I think, to do things that your peers aren't doing. So how can we harness that as a shipyard? What can we show? We like to talk about all of the great things that we're doing, like building icebreakers, like building cutters, like building, space platforms for a new market, or the wind market, or the dredge market. We're doing things that I think are impacting not only this area, but impacting it globally as well, and responding to the needs of what our nation needs.
Welcome to Bollinger Shipyards. For nearly a century, our family of skilled shipbuilders has driven innovation and excellence, creating some of the world's most advanced vessels. Today, we are at the forefront of our industry and redefining the future of naval warfare. At Bollinger, we turn challenges into opportunities and careers into legacies. Here, you're part of something bigger. Any yard can build a ship. We don't just build ships. Together, we're building the future.
When it comes to marine towing, Crosby Tugs has over 40 years of experience. We have the know-how to safely assist ships into and out of their berths, escort oil tankers quickly and safely, tow ships, respond to fuel spills, and work in extreme conditions. Founded in 1977 by Vinton and Kurt Crosby, we are one of the largest privately owned marine transportation businesses in the industry. If it's on the water, let Crosby be your transporter.
Sea Level Construction is a heavy civil contractor that provides turnkey services for the industrial and marine industries. From building large-scale infrastructure to installing the foundation for expansion projects, Sea Level and its family of companies offer a wide range of capabilities including driven piles, drilled deep foundations, structural fabrication, structural concrete, marine construction, barge maintenance and repair, site work development, heavy equipment repair services, and electrical services. Call Sea Level Construction to set the foundations for your next big project.
At GIS, putting people first has always been our thing. As we always say, our people are our most important assets. With over 20 office locations, we deliver innovative solutions across 4 key markets: energy, industrial, infrastructure, and power. Our 4 main service groups house over 20 service capabilities, supporting projects from start to finish. We're proud of our legacy and even more excited about what's ahead.
Edison Schwest Offshore is more than a fleet. We're an interconnected network of vessels, logistics hubs, and a fast-growing workforce of over 19,000 dedicated professionals across the globe. From the United States to Brazil and the Middle East to Southeast Asia, Schwest provides cutting-edge solutions to a worldwide community. And in the face of evolving demands across the industry, we are committed to operating as the best in the world.
Levee boards are conservation districts, so they can handle land bridges, they can handle coastal restoration, marsh creation, plus levees, floodgates, pump stations. We added that legislation in years ago to give the levee boards the power. Besides the government, local government themselves have that authority. You could have the levee boards which only concentrate, like the Terrebonne Levee District or the South Lafourche Levee District or North Lafourche Levee District. They concentrate on their levees, Now they're going to get involved with the land bridges. At least South Lafourche and Terrebonne are going to be in the middle of the land bridges, just like the rocks in Fouchon are being done by Chet Chasson and all. They're handling the engineering and construction of segmented breakwater rocks at Fouchon. That's another thing we're doing from West Bell Pass, 8.5 miles to the east. We're putting segmented breakwater rocks, but we're not doing them at 6 feet. We're doing them at 10 feet to protect billions of dollars worth of our energy infrastructure, plus loop, which, as you know, 16% of the nation's oil comes in. But most people don't know this. 50% of the refining capacity pipelines go through Fouchon to the refineries.
In Grand Isle's case, there's a literal drift of sand that depending on which scientist you listen to, but somewhere right at the mouth of Champagne Bay that used to exist. There's no bay anymore. The whole coastline is eroded, and Champagne Bay or Champagne Bay is gone. But right there is where the currents of the Gulf of Mexico changed the movement of sand from there to the east and from there to the west. And so the Caminada headland, which is the headland that Port Fouchon's on, is one of the highest eroding locations of the state, mainly because it's not getting any drift of sand. It's where the sand starts eroding, and some of it goes toward Timbalier and toward Terrebonne, and the rest of it goes towards Jefferson and towards Plaquemines. Okay, and so there's a movement of sand along that coast that feeds the beaches, and then you have prevailing southeast to southwest winds and south winds that erode it. And so the segmented breakwaters allows the literal drift of the sand to move. It doesn't interfere like a jetty does. Okay, it also allows it breaks the waves enough to allow the sand to settle out. And so the prevailing winds and currents that move along the coast from different directions, the segmented breakwaters allows the sand to accumulate, and it makes those gordolas or the gondolas or whatever, those deposits of sand behind the rocks, but it allows the fish and all the functions and values of a barrier island, from a marine fisheries species, for the shrimp and all the things that happen. It doesn't interfere with any of that, okay? And it allows it to and if you look at Raccoon Island, it's the same way. Now, it's capturing sand that would in fact be moving along the beach. So there is an umbrella effect on those effects. But if you start at the end and work your way into the island, you don't get the negative effects. And so the idea if I had my druthers, I would recommend that we would put segmented breakwaters all the way from Raccoon Island and work our way all the way past Grand Isle.
In 2005, I remember Vladimir, not the Russian Vladimir, but he is from he's from Russia. He worked for Gulf States out of Texas. He came and walked on the beach with us. And if you remember those days, I remember Elmer's Island had a cut in it. And I took him over there. And so I put him on a houseboat. He wanted vodka that morning. Get your shot, do what you got to do. And we left on the boat. And I brought him out there. And I'm a little dude. He's 6'6". So he said, we're going to walk across the pass. I said, well, he's going to do a little slough. So I'm dog paddle while I'm talking to him. And he's got water up to here. And we got to the other side. I'll never forget that. Lonnie, I'll never forget that. He looked at me and goes, leave it alone. It's going to heal by itself. And then he was teaching classes in Seattle, Washington. You remember that ship that hit the rocks? He called me, Commodore, I would love for you to come and come to Italy with me and see me get that ship. I said, man, I can't do none of that. He said, I'll go all over the world. He said, but if you don't close Caminada Pass, he said, I'm going to put some satellites down there for you. And I want you to know that we're going to study that. In 2005, we put it probably 2 months before Katrina. It was like a turtleback, satellites, and we put them in Caminada Pass. In 2005, I'll never forget that, we put them, Katrina came, and the divers couldn't have said they had so much mud over it, but they had to dredge it to pull it out. That data was so important. So we got the colonel with the Corps of Engineers to look at it, and we showed them everything how it had to be done. Rocks got to go this way, rocks got to go that way, and in the meantime, that would heal everything up. And they never did do it. So 2 years, or let's say a year and a half ago, they started looking at that study because the hole was getting deeper, storms are getting powerful. So now they're looking at all that. So by the time you do studies and all that, if we did what that man said at the time, and I didn't have the money at the time, I had to, at the time, but they went back and looked at that record,
That's it for this episode of Louisiana and Beyond. We've seen how rocks, levees, and dedicated people are shaping the future of our coast.
And there's more ahead, from cutting-edge coastal projects to the next generation of shipbuilders and innovators. Don't miss what's coming next on Louisiana and Beyond.
Louisiana and Beyond has been brought to you in part by Edison Schwest Offshore, Bollinger Shipyards, Crosby Tugs LLC, Grand Isle Shipyard, Nicholls State University, and Sea Level Construction.